Hello, everyone. My name is David Riddle, and welcome back to another meditation hour with David. Today, we are going over the shadow self using Jungian philosophy and psychology. So, what exactly does that mean? Carl Jung was a psychologist who was one of the first to propose that the human psyche was split up into several different archetypes. Knowing this, there is the persona, which is known as like the masking, the thing that we show the world. And with the shadow self is the parts of ourselves that we don't necessarily accept. So today we're going to be talking, or I'm going to be talking about several things that the shadow self is and how you can integrate that into your whole, as it is very important when you're on the spiritual journey to do your shadow work, as it's called in spirituality. So when you explore your shadow, this involves a process of bringing acceptance and compassion to areas of your life and of yourself that you have previously drawn a protective shield over. It involves gaining a deeper understanding of yourself and provides an opportunity for personal growth. This process can be challenging, and it basically forces you to take a deeper look at yourself and learning into do. Oh, pardon me. Learning to integrate your shadow can lead to a happier and more fulfilled state of being. Therefore, it can be beneficial as you bring your unconsciousness into your active consciousness. So, everyone has a shadow. Everyone has a shadow self. Everyone has behaviors and parts of themselves that they have left in their subconscious and unconscious mind. And how does this necessarily happen? Well, basically, when we are kids, we are kind of like a blank slate, right? And as we go on, we learn that through our parents, our teachers, our relative, and society as itself, we get messages about what's acceptable and what's not. And so we take those unacceptable things that society tells us that are not good and we bury them deep within us. And this causes a dissonance in our soul and our mind and our body called cognitive dissonance. And so by doing shadow work, we basically work towards accepting and integrating the shadow self and those things that society has claimed to be unacceptable, and we claim them and we bring them back into the conscious mind and we accept it. Because you cannot have the light without the dark, you cannot have the dark without the light. It has to be whole. It's all part of the same coin. So, what are some ways that we can work towards being whole by integrating the shadow self into our consciousness? Is we can become a curious observer. We can observe the world and observe ourselves, both our inner and outer selves. How do we project ourselves onto others? How do we actually feel inside when we're doing that? What are things that we really want to talk about? Are we passionate about that we just, because of our parents, because of society basically being like, you can't do that? Those limits are limits that they believe, not limits that you should accept to believe. You should also practice non judgment towards yourself, meaning that if you, like for me, I love to do art. I've been doing art since I was young, but my parents and my family just, they didn't really accept it because they didn't really understand it. So you have to learn to be non-judgmental towards yourself, because everyone's going to impart judgment on you. Everyone's going to judge what you're doing, whether it's because they're jealous, whether it's because they are unable to do it themselves, whether it's just envy, whether it's because they be like, oh, there's no money in that. There's no money in that for them. Those are their limits, not yours. You can also work with a professional towards doing shadow work, whether it be a therapist working towards uncovering trauma, you know, healing yourself. Shadow journaling is also a way to do that. You can either do that by videoing yourself and just like talking about different aspects of yourself. This can be private, or you can actually like write in a journal. Also, past life regression therapy is another way that people integrate the shadow self into their whole. This can be working towards past karma and integrating that and figuring out why you're having the life that you are now. Um, so, hypnosis, those kind of things. And then what we're doing today, which is going to be meditating. So, in order to become your higher self, you must embrace your darkest self. It's like I said, you can't have the light without the dark, you can't have the dark without the light. And you can journal your revelations. Your shadow self is part of you, but it doesn't define you. Meaning, you can have aspects of yourself that are part of your shadow, but that doesn't have to become who you are, if that makes sense. Um, like for me, I've kind of I haven't really done a lot of art lately. It doesn't necessarily define me by not accepting that. Or let's say you want to do a specific thing, but you've ingrained that into your subconscious mind and unconscious mind for so long that it's hard to bring that to the surface. And even if you did bring that to the surface, it's not who you are in your entirety. Like, I used to be a very aggressive person. I used to have anger issues. Um, but over time, I had to learn how to integrate that into who I am and learn how to control that. You don't destroy the beast, you tame the beast. So pay attention to your reactions to different things as you go along through your life. What triggers you? What why does that make you angry? Your shadow self is there to help you. It's to help you be angry about the injustices in the world and help you set boundaries. Don't second guess or intellectualize your intuition. Your intuition is your subconscious. It's your unconscious mind. It's where your shadow self is put. So, if let's say you're talking to somebody and you start getting angry for some reason, there's probably a reason for it. Don't overthink things. Don't get angry either, but just like observe. Become a conscious observer. Shadow work, unfortunately, is a lifelong process. So, you're going to have to work through it constantly. And even as you heal, sometimes you feel like you're taking 10 steps back, and then just like a spring, it's like condensing and you get launched forward into this process. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. So, one second here. Connie Zweig once said, "The shadow, when it is realized, is a source of renewal. The new and productive impulse cannot come from established values of the ego, where there's an impasse and sterile time in our lives. Despite inadequate ego development, we must look into the dark, here the unto unaccepted side which has been at our conscious disposal." So what does that mean? You might be like, excuse me? Which completely fair and valid. Basically, it means that in order to embrace you as yourself, you have to embrace the aspects that people have told you you shouldn't be. People have told me I shouldn't be an angry person. I'm allowed to be angry. My feelings are valid. And with the things I've been through, it's understandable that I was angry. I was angry for so long, not even just at people, but at myself for letting things fly for so long. There's, for example, recovering doormats or people pleasers. It's completely valid to be angry once you realize what you've allowed people to do for so long. Live for yourself and allow your shadow self to thrive, but not take over your consciousness. No. Integrate it, tame it, and it will take a lifetime to do so. You will have a constant healing because you're constantly changing, but it's worth it. So, today we're mostly going to be meditating, and I'm not necessarily sure that I have any affirmations for you today, as it will mostly be guided in a sense of trying to uncover more of your unconscious mind, trying to see what aspects of yourself you are denying. So, we're going to start with a deep breath in, pause, and exhale, and you can do this at your own pace. So, for me, I like to sit cross legged and upright, as this helps me focus on all aspects of my body. Laying down, you're likely to fall asleep once you get into that relaxed meditative state. It happens to me all the time. So I highly suggest upright position because you want to observe your mind. You want to observe your body. You want to observe your thoughts. You're not trying to get rid of your thoughts. You're just trying to observe them as they come and go. What are you thinking? You can journal if you want to, during or after. You don't have to journal, but it is recommended if you have difficulty remembering or just want to have something to look back onto as you are going on this healing path. So I'm going to stretch. Feel my body. Shake off some negativity. Like I said, at your own pace. Inhale. Pause. And exhale. So, what aspects of yourself have you been denying yourself from? I want you to think on that while you're at your own pace, inhaling, pausing, and exhaling. It can be however many seconds. Don't make yourself pass out by just holding your breath. And again, that question is, what aspects of yourself have you been hiding or running from or denying yourself? You can have your eyes open or closed. What helps you most? Me, I switch interchangeably. The next question to ask yourself is, what steps can you take towards integrating those into your conscious mind? What steps can you take towards accepting those aspects of yourself that you've been denying for so long? You see me jerk my arms. That happens sometimes. Again, my question is, what steps can you take towards integrating your shadow self, the parts you've been denying yourself, into your conscious mind? Your conscious mind is the one that makes the decisions of what you're going to show people, to who you are, because you actually are more, you know, your unconscious mind, because it belongs to you in the sense that you don't have a filter. It knows no right or wrong. It's just you. Be unapologetically. What helps you get out of your comfort zone? This question that is popping up in my mind. Because sometimes our comfort zone is like an example of what our conscious mind does. And when we get out of our comfort zone, we allow our subconscious behaviors to arise. That is a good example of the shadow self. The behaviors that we do, maybe like little twinges, little noises. It helps you and allows you to be yourself in all aspects. Think of that person. Be grateful for that person. If the behavior that allows you to be yourself is one of non-judgment and compassion, embrace those behaviors and have non-judgment and compassion for yourself too. That way you can have compassion and non-judgment towards others. Embrace that behavior consciously. What is making it difficult to accept some aspects of yourself? Is it things other people have said to you? Is it your inner voice, the voice you're telling yourself? What is it? If it's a parent's voice or something your parents have said to you, I highly suggest looking into reparenting techniques or doing inner child work, inner child healing, envisioning yourself as a kid and you now reparenting them, telling them what they need to hear. If it's you telling yourself that behaviors and parts of yourself are unacceptable, it's just working on self-love. Doing self-care. Showing yourself compassion and grace. If it is the voice of society telling you that these internal behaviors are unacceptable, quite frankly, screw society. Quite frankly, they are not paying your bills. They are not taking care of you. So why does it matter what anybody says? They are not feeding you. They're not taking care of your business. The only one doing that is you. It's the only voice and opinion that actually matters in terms of knowing yourself is yours. For they do not have the inner data that is your subconscious. Most people do not know your past or cannot know your full past. So why does it matter what they think? It doesn't. I apologize that I'm bobbing and weaving. I'm a little exhausted from the day, and like I said, it's easy to slip into sleep in the meditative state for me, because that's how I fall asleep, so I get relaxed and in this state, so my body's just like, my consciousness goes elsewhere. What have you learned so far from this experience? This would be a good place to journal, or just mental jot down, or record a short little video. Like I said, easy to fall asleep. You just scrounge the mind for answers. Again, the last question I asked is, what have you learned from this experience? What areas can you improve in? What areas can you cut out of your life? I think I'll be cutting this meditation short, mostly because it's just a reflective one. It's meant to get you thinking into the observation state of mind. I know the title says Meditation Hour with David, but there's a reason. The main reason I'm closing this out early is so people can reflect, they can journal, and they can really decide what they've learned today, if anything. And so, with that, I will be giving you my gratitude. Thank you for your time, your energy, whether this be in the live stream or after. Please take the time to think of what you've experienced, even if it's just me watching me start to fall asleep and leave my consciousness leave my body. um, I hope you have a wonderful day or night. Sending you peace, love, and light. Goodbye.